Hey guys, welcome back to another interesting tutorial on how to make this beautiful design. It's a skirt and a blouse, and today we are going to be learning how to draft and also how to cut it. This is the part 1 of this video, so we are going to be continue to learn how to sew and also how to join together. If you're interested, just keep watching. So guys, I have my pattern paper here and I've gone ahead to fold it up like usual, the way we normally do it, as you can see here. So we are going to start drafting the front, and the first thing to do is to mark out 2.5 inches on the upper part. Remember, this has an inbuilt neck. Okay, the front and the back has an inbuilt neck, so I'm going to go ahead and mark 2.5 inches like we all normally do it here. Please just ignore the inches you're seeing me marking on the paper, but the one I'm calling from my mouth is going to be the one that is going to be the correct one. Okay, so I've gone ahead to rule out 2.5 inches. So now I am going to go ahead and mark my neck width and also shoulder divide by 2. The neck width I'm using is 3 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my shoulder divide by 2, 8. I'll mark there. Now under the 2.5 inches, I'll place my tape like so to get my shoulder to bust. I'll mark shoulder to under bust. I'll mark it out. Shoulder to the low waist, not the half length. The half length is the high waist, but the low waist, the low waist is the longest waist that is close to the hip. So shoulder to the waist and the full length. Okay, get your low waist. This time around it's not a high waist. High waist is the half length, while the low waist is the one that is close to the hip. Okay, so I'm just going to place my tape to get the full length after getting the low waist. So now I'm just going to go up from the bust with 2 inches to mark my chest line. So guys, this is the third time we are uh, talking about teaching about built up neckline. If you haven't learned how to cut a built up neckline here, guys, you are not learning at all. So make sure you learn how to make a built up neckline. We have been doing this using bubu gown or bubu style, and this one is going to be having a zipper, so make sure you learn it very well. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and curve out my armhole like so. Remember, we marked 3 inches for our neck width. So now next is to input my bust span, divide by 2, 4. So I'll start marking it from the chest line down to the full length. Now let me tell you one thing. The purpose of me adding 2.5 inches for the built up neckline is because I'm going to be making use of 2 inches. So if you want your built up neck height built up neck to be so high, if you want to use 3 inches, make sure you mark out 3.5 inches, but 2 inches is okay. Trust me, you can even go ahead and use 1.5 inches. Okay, now the next thing to do after marking the bust span is to put my darts, marking half inch at the waist, at the both line of the waist. Okay, on the waistline I'm going to mark half inch. Then from the waist I'm just going to come down with 4 inches where my dart is going to stop. You know, this is a full blouse, so you can go ahead and mark your dart the way you want your dart to be. You can from the hip, you can come up with 2 inches from the hip, then start marking your darts from the hip come up with 2 inches, then start marking your dart. But what I just did here, I from the waist I came down with 4 inches, then mark my diagonal dart the way I normally do it. So you can see it here. Now after drafting, drafting on this side, I just open the pattern paper up, and I'm going to redraw what I have on this side to the other side, but it's not gonna be all. Okay, I will just redraw a little bit. I just open up my pattern paper. I draw the darts, the bust, the under bust, the low waist, then the full length, the blouse length, and I'm just going to go ahead and close it back. So if you watch the picture we are recreating, the front side has the dart intake. That is what I just did there. That is the purpose of me redrafting this to the other side. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and input my measurement, divide by 4. So on the bust point, I'm just going to mark my bust divide by 4 plus seam allowance. I'll put it on the bust and also on the chest line. Then coming to the under bust, I'll put my under bust measurement divide by 4 plus seam allowance, and then including the seam that intake there. Same things goes to the waist. And coming to the blouse length, I'll put my hip measurement divide by 4 plus seam allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and rule out the lines like this. Remember to put your shoulder slope. So we are done with the basic bodies, and we are going to go up for the built-up neckline and also for the scallop design neck. Okay, now on the 3 inches of the width of the neck, I'm just going to go up with 2 inches and mark. At the 3 inches on the neck width, I went up with 2 inches and mark for my built-up neckline. Now to determine the from this side, from the 3 inches, I just marked 0.3 inches there. Now coming inside this place, I went ahead to mark 0.5 inches. So you can see what I'm just carving out on the neck shoulder, like where the 3 inches neck stopped. I marked 0.3 inches. Then coming to the upper side inside, I come in with 0.5 inches. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Now on this center point, I'm also going to come in again with 0.3 inches. So under the 2.5 inches I mark, line and mark, I'm going to get my neck depth. You can use 7 inches, 8 inches, or even 9 inches. You can even come to the under bust and mark your neck depth. Just make sure that the neck depth you have is going to be enough for your head to enter after sewing this top. Okay, make sure you have a deep neckline, but don't expose your cleavage too much. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stop with the neck depth of 9.5 inches. Okay, the purpose of going deep is for your head to enter the blouse. Okay, so now the next thing I'm just going to go ahead to do, after marking 9.5 inches, I'm just going to mark 1.5 inches, starting from that place, from the down part of 9.5 inches to the upper area, like so. From the place I got my neck depth of 9.5 inches, I will mark 1.5 inches. Starting from here right now, I'm marking. Then I'm going to root the 1.5 inches. I'll take it up to the upper edge, like so. I'll rule out the lines. I ruled out the lines with my pencil. So this 1.5 inches I just mark will serve as a guideline when we are making our scallop neck shape. Okay, we are not going to exceed the line, you're not going to pass the line. So now I'm just going to place my French curve to connect the the built up neck like so. You can see what I'm doing. I just connect it, stopping at the 0.3 inches I came at the center. You see what I just draw right now, using the curvy part to connect it using my marker like so. So next is to start drawing the scallop shape on the neck. So coming to the down part, which is the 9.5 inches depth, so I'll just measure where I want that or curvy pencil or neckline to start. So it just starts with about 2.3 inches, but I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing the neck shape. You can see what I'm doing. I'm using my pencil to draw this. It is good for you to use your pencil to draw, so that if you make a mistake, you can be able to erase it and start all over again. And watch what I'm doing. I am not allowing the shape of this drawing to go beyond the 1.5 inches I just mark. You can see what I'm doing. It looks like a zigzag or design, but it's not that zigzag, but it's just a scallop shape. So you can see that the shape is just coming, and make sure that this v-neck on this down part I'm drawing is not passing that 1.5 inches. So if you watch what I just have there, I use a total or inches of one. This neck shape that I just draw, I didn't use all the 1.5 inches I just mark there. Just watch closely. So let me just call it, I just make use of 1 inch, remaining half an inch. It didn't go close to the one or the line I just marked. So next is just to cut the side parts out. Right now I am going to be using the front to mark or to cut the back. After cutting the back, we're still going to come back for the front, because we still have a lot of work to do on the front. Now I've gone ahead to mark my zipper allowance for the back and the rule out 2.5 inches on the upper part. I'm going to go ahead and fold the zipper allowance inward like this. I'm going to hide the zipper allowance, then I'll bring the front, placing it under the on top of the back, then to trace out the shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it out, I will put some drawing there. So just watch what I'm doing carefully. If you look at the front, I have not even cut the shoulder area or the shoulder slope. So I just shaped out cut out the allowance on the shape area, which is the side part. So that is what you are going to do. Make sure you draft on your paper. So having gotten the shape, this is what I have here. You can see it. Remember, the zipper allowance, it's unfold. So I'm just placing this to indicate where the bust, the chest line, the low waist is. After marking it out with my dot lines, I'm just going to label the chest line, bust, waist, and the full length. I am going to go ahead using my ruler to rule out the lines, because I want to put my dart leg there. Now coming to the upper part, I'm just going to mark my neck width of 3 inches. Then from that place, from the 3 inches, I'm just going to go up with 2 inches for my built up neckline and rule out like so. Now having gotten that, I'm just going to rule out the lines. I'll still come back for the built up neck for the back. Remember, we are drafting the back right now. So I just label the chest line, bust, and the low waist. So I'm going to divide my bust span by 2 and mark it there. I want to draw my dart. Remember, like I said before, you can start or you can come up from the hip with 2 inches and start drawing your dart. So here on the from the chest line I came down with 1 inch. On the waistline I mark half inch at the both side. So you can mark. There is something I want to explain here. When marking your darts, please start from your high waist, like your half length, from your shoulder to your half length, your high waist. Put your half length or half inches at the both side. Then coming to the hip, you come up with 2 inches. Okay, don't start marking your dart from the low waist. Now coming to this side, I am going to come down with half an inch on this center point on the upper edge, then go out with 0.3 inches, come in here with 0.5 inches, then use my curvy ruler and curve it out. Like on the center point on the upper edge of this paper, I came down with half an inch. Okay, then coming uh to the length of the built up neckline, I came in with 0.5 inches, like the place I'm just curving out right now. You can see how the curvy shape looks like. This is the back, so you don't expect the back to be straight, so you have to be curvy for it to relax. So I'm just going to use my French curve to curve out this slanty 0.3 inches area and stop. So that is just it, guys. That is just it for the back. This is very simple. This is very simple. Remember that our zipper allowance is on fold. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw my shoulder slope. So we are going to be stopping here because this tutorial is very long. We are going to be bringing the part 2 of this, and you can see that this tutorial is very simple, and I know that you are learning something here. So we are going to be continue from where we stop on our part 2 of this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and please, if you want to support us, you know what to do. You know what to do. Like, you just like our video, share, and also comment. That is how to support us. Okay, make sure you do your zip tightening at the back from the high waist, coming with 0.5 inches, slant it and cut it like this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the part 2. Bye for now.